Everybody accept the live streaming permission.
Yes, sir. We are live.
It's Hold My Rock Star tonight.
Hold my rock star, says Tony. Well, hey guys, listen, good to have everybody on. Big show today. Big week this week. Will's got his truck back behind him there. That's one they got a couple years ago, right, Will?
100%, man. It just came in. It took a while. It's super custom, but driver appreciation week. So, we got to put that back there.
I hear you. Nice. Well, good. Well, how about we do this? We got some people with us today, and I wanted to make sure that we did this from a standpoint of who we've got with us here. They're out doing it right now. Some of them are driving right now, right, Lewis?
Yeah. Yep. At an Indy right now.
So,
hi, Indy.
Which I think is pretty cool, man. I think it's cool as hell. So, let's go ahead and we'll start with Lewis, and then we'll go to let's start with Lewis, and we'll go Ingrid. We'll go around the room here, and everybody introduce yourself here.
Lewis, stay hands free and don't be distracted.
How you doing, guys?
Hands free on the phone.
My name is Lewis Claudio. I'm the owner of Dedicated Trucking LLC. I'm currently on the load right now, trying to get this to Indy. That's who I am.
Where you at?
Zanesville, Ohio.
On what are you on 70?
Yes.
I know.
Come on, give me a mile marker. Right. Let's go. Give me a mile marker.
Haven't hit one yet. Hold on.
Dang, Tony.
We are at mile marker 150.
Oh, nice.
So Lewis used to run for me. Lewis used to run for me when I was. Are you done, Tony?
I'm done. Sorry.
God, he's got driver in his blood. He's got to know all the details. I get it. There's no rate con, Tony. We'll get to you. But Lewis used to run for me when I was overseeing our fleet there at Circle, and then was still a little involved with it too. So kind of worked with him a little bit when he got his own MC and went out on his own. He's doing great, and we keep in touch quite a bit. And I think it just goes to show sometimes when you depend on each other for stuff, even if it's business, it brings you closer. So he's always done a great job, and really happy to know him and be able to work with him still. So Ingrid, tell us a little bit about yourself. Ingrid, you can go all day, so let's keep it within like a 30-minute. How much you do?
Oh, I'm Ingrid Brown. I've been in the industry as a driver for 42 years this December. And my niche is really pulling reefers. Of course, I've pulled all kinds of freight all but a car hauler, and that's because my butt won't fit out the window when I climb out the top deck. So no. My favorite motto is I love to truck. I don't have to truck. I love to truck. Right now I'm sitting in a beautifully painted motel room in a purple chair, waiting for my truck to finish to be built. I have been an independent owner operator, sole owned and operated for most of all of my career. I just recently made a change here about a month ago, and I'm going to be working for Adkins Specialized Carriers. This past weekend, I'll be doing quite a bit of heavy haul as well as my reefer. I have a new 2022 that'll be rolling out of the shop the boys have built this past week. I'll be seeing you at Bats. And I actually loaded the tailgate combine over at Iowa City for Iowa University to play Iowa State up in Ames this past weekend. And they do the game day. Y'all know the ESPN game days, right? And so I took the combine up, and it's a tailgate. It's got TVs all the way. It's a full-size case combine. It's got TVs all the way around. The bottom is just wide open for grilling and all kinds of stuff. But I loaded it on an RGN and took it up there. And Ashton Kutcher, how you say his name, Kutcher, whatever. Yeah. He drove it around a game day and did his little deal, and I loaded it back up, brought it back. So I'm getting some more heavy haul experience. So kind of swapping up again. Diversity is what drives.
Hey,
celebrity heavy haul.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Tailgating's way better at Notre Dame, just so you know. That sounds awesome.
Not a tailgater, but it was pretty cool. We got to climb on top. The whole top is like a dance floor in the middle of this combine. It's crazy. It's nuts. But y'all know that I've been involved in all kinds of stuff. I've been blessed. I was named FMCSA's face and voice of safety. I do their PSAs for Our Roads, Our Safety. You'll see me on billboards and on TV PSAs and in print. The Petro in Oklahoma City is Ingrid Brown, Petro. But I'm just me. I'm just a driver. That's just all that I want anybody to know me as. It's just I be Ingrid, the driver.
There you go.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and
Everybody likes Ingrid too.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well,
We
no,
like
I think you've got something about you. I think that people like. I mean, it's just, not only are you a woman in trucking, but just from what I know from you, I mean, you're one that wants to do it right. And like you said, you love the truck. You don't just truck because you have to. And I know there's a lot of guys that and women I've dealt with that drive that seems like they don't even necessarily like it. And I think if you don't have that in you, it does just kind of keep you mediocre. Maybe not as into it. And look at Lewis. Lewis has not been in it all that long, but he's taken it full bore as well, and it really pays off. So I think that's a big thing.
Thanks for having me today, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Ray, tell us a little. This is my first time meeting you, Ray. How you doing?
Pretty good, sir. Name's Ray White. I've been in the business 21 years now. Come from a family of truckers. Granddad was a trucker. Father was a trucker. Drove for 2 years. Really wasn't my deal. Felt like I could do more damage on paper with a pencil and a keyboard. Done everything: flatbeds, reefers. Currently, I work at Purdy Brothers Trucking. We're a reefer company out of Loudon, Tennessee. I'm based out of the Winchester, Virginia terminal. I've done some work with Mr. Jenkins there in his previous adventures. Other than that, just rolling with the flow and learning this business day by day.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Ray might be the funniest person I have ever worked with in my entire life. So let me tell y'all a story. I've been working with Ray for 7 years, and this is why relationships go so deep. So it doesn't matter, it could be late in the afternoon, early in the morning, whatever. I can hit Ray up, ask him a question. Hey, can you give me a truck? Or, tell me about what's going on here, this or there. So we start Molo, and they work with us sparingly, right? Like not as much as he and I used to run, but we're picking it back up. So I'm glad that they're back getting rolling. And my man starts calling in, asking different carrier reps about loads. And he starts off every call. He goes, "Hey man, y'all know Will?" I'm like, yeah, we know Will. Hey, y'all know he was a national champion national hula hoop champion. Like, I will have literally to this day, I will have people send me a message like, "You a hula hoop champion?" I'm like, "You on the phone with Ray." Like,
Listen, they all believe it, hook, line, sinker. No one ever questions it. They're like, "I can see it. Will's so athletic, I can see it." I'm like, "Get him to show you his belts. Get him to show you the belts."
Show us the ring, Will.
Shoot. That's good.
Up with it, Will.
man, I can't.
I expect this.
I can't take
I
this
wish-
anymore.
I wish you could see the meme that I sent Will this morning, representing his cartoon character of his hula hoop championship.
It's
It
amazing.
was a dead ringer. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, that is good. What's it's funny, Will, he says that though, because whenever I was over at the dispatch team and I heard they got a load, I think we had a couple loads we were running like dedicated for you guys that are backhauls, and I'd always get in mess with whoever the Molo rep was. I think there was a couple times I was like, I mean, I don't want to have to get Will Jenkins on the horn. We went to college together back in the day, and on the lacrosse team, or I just make up something like random. I was just up there eating dinner with Will not the other day, so and they'd always knew who you were, but they kind of just laughed it off and just kept going with whatever they're saying. I just kind of look like an idiot, but I always thought it's funny.
Have they
Will's
ever
the
told
Renaissance
you,
man.
Will, Yeah, have they ever told you the things that all of us say? I have, when I was dispatching for Fleener last year, yeah, I got you too. We did a few loads for you. Same thing. It would be like, oh, thank you so much. Make sure you tell Will I said, hi, hun. And they would be like,
Y'all are
That's
brutal, but I love it. It's funny. You spend so much time doing whatever it is you're doing, you might as well like it. And that's one thing that I really appreciate about Ray and a lot of the people that I've been able to build relationships with. It's a whole lot more fun when you can laugh and get to know people on that personal level, because there's so many more things to it than just the dispatching and the freight piece. So I appreciate that. Y'all gotta leave me alone, man. You got the jokes.
Ray, I love what you said about being in here and just trying to learn something. You're in a spot where you're probably teaching as much as you're learning, but I'll bet you, like, I've been in this industry almost my whole life. My dad was a truck driver. I mean, I like you. I mean, it's generational. Ingrid, I guarantee you, Ingrid's of the same blood. She loves learning and is learning every day too. And when you quit learning, that's when you got a problem. So I love that attitude. Just keep it.
It definitely brings challenges every day, and there are some days where I'm like, oh my goodness, couldn't you have picked anything else? I really would rather have been a rock star, to be honest about it, but I'll settle for this.
You got the beard for it, man.
Yeah, I just cut that
truck.
thing off a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna grow me as soon as I can grow it long enough where I don't have to wear t-shirts anymore. That's my goal.
ZZ truck. Awesome. Once it gets you censored, yeah.
Yeah.
It is funny though how that works. So Ray, you're right. I remember when I was first kind of come up through, and I always talk to new people about this, but there were days where I was like, in the middle of the day, I'd be, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. Like, I don't know how, like say like the person that, like maybe I reported to wasn't available or something. I had to figure out on my own. But every single day on my way home, I remember just thinking like, I figured it out. Like, you always end up figuring it out. You know what I mean? Like, one way or another, it ends up doing it's just communication and just pushing forward and learning. And like Tony said, sometimes when you're learning, it's not just learning something new, it's learning something different. So like you get into a bubble, I mean, I being with Circle my whole career, and yeah, and you're in a bubble of what and all and like, Will, you probably remember that when you were at Coyote, I mean, like going into something new, it was like you were in that Coyote bubble, like you knew a certain way of doing things and that was it. And sometimes learning just different takes and different mindsets and approaches sometimes is what the most benefit is.
When I learned the most was when I got fired. It's adversity that teaches you the most. I'm
Yep.
serious, but I was severance. I didn't get fired. I got severance, but I was in that bubble and I was doing everything the one way. Everything was my way. That was the right way. If you do it different, you're just wrong. And you know what? I was forced to start doing stuff different, and it became a learning experience. And then I got better. And then I started realizing that, my gosh, there's so much more that I could know. And then I started seeking out the ability to continue to grow and learn. And man, all I did was find out I got a long way to go.
Likewise, I got in really young with my uncle. My uncle had started a company and asked me to come work the office. And then this was after him teaching me to drive. And when I realized that I didn't really want to pursue the driving thing, when I went in, I quickly bought my first truck. And within a year, I bought a second truck. And I was 25. I had 2 trucks. I had made it up to 6 and was a reefer carrier. And just, I think I had blinders on, for me at that point in life, it was like big paychecks. And I was like, oh, there's a ton of money in trucking. And then there's always rainy days in trucking too. So needless to say, I don't have my own trucks anymore from bad decisions, but yes, learning and just evolving and I think back now, think about the things and the decisions, and could have been a different ball game, but I'm still in the same business and still have the same drive.
It's funny you say that. I always, one of my first jobs I was involved. I was lucky enough to be able to have some clients that were CEOs and big leaders. And I was young back then. I mean, I think they liked my energy or something, because they always would try to when we had, when we were together, kind of teach me stuff or whatever. But there was one CEO I'll never forget. It was rainy, it was shitty. And we met up, and I'm like, man, what a shitty day or whatever. He's like, oh, I love these days. I'm like, what is it? Oh yeah, rainy day mentality, man. He goes, these are the days everybody's taking off. He goes, it's a race. Everything's, you know, you got to have an advantage, right? If you're competitive and you got to get ahead. He goes, these are the days when you pass people. Everybody's motivated on a sunny, nice day. You know, it's the rainy days when you grind out and you push forward, and that's when you pass people. And so he called it the rainy day mentality. Because to him, he saw it as opportunity rather than adversity.
I respect that. I would agree. I think it's super important to have that perspective as you're attacking your day and whatnot. I did want to ask a question, since we have 3 unbelievable drivers, dispatchers, owners of businesses, and it's Driver Appreciation Week. You know, as a broker myself, there's a lot of stuff that we probably don't understand that you all work through. So, you know, being behind the wheel and, you know, at the shipper, at a receiver, certain challenges, what are some things that you think we take for granted from y'all's perspectives that might help, you know, me learn or help our people do what we do a little bit better? I'd love to hear from each of you.
Lewis, why don't you start? We'll go, Lewis, let's go. Lewis, Ingrid, Ray. We'll just keep that order going.
I guess from my end to answer that question is maybe we're doing too good of a job by always delivering on time and never falling off. You almost expect that, which isn't bad, but there's so many little things that we have to make sure we cross the T's and dot our I's on. That I guess if we never told you, I don't know that anyone would ever know. But it's just relentless every day, every load. So I mean, there's a lot on this side with us, you know, crossing our T's and dotting our I's. That I don't know if we've ever speak to you guys about it.
Give me one day-to-day thing you think none of my brokers know that you have to do.
Well, it's a relentless inspection thing for one. You know, inspecting the trailer, the load, the paperwork, like that's a never-ending thing. That's with every load, every day you wake up, every trailer you pick up. It gets combed through every single trailer, every single load. If it's not my own trailer, you know, that might be something you guys don't necessarily know. Maybe.
Lewis, wouldn't it be? I remember this is something that, like, whenever you do something good that makes a shipment go well and you get pumped up, it's not like you're calling them and telling them, right? And I remember that with you. Like, I would call you at the end of the night and, like, with hours of service, and like, what's going on, Lewis? And you'd be like, hey man. He's like, you're like jacked up. You're like, dude, I've worked my hours today. He's like, I literally pulled in, hit my parking brake at a minute left, nailed it. Like, you're all pumped up about that, right? And those are things that brokers, you know what I mean? Like, when you get a shipment on time or you did what you were supposed to do, you're not calling the broker telling them that. You know what I mean? Like, those are things that you got to put into, like, that day you had to make sure you were on top of your game all day long to work those hours to get this done, and you did it. And, you know, they may not know that those things are important to you, especially if you're a good driver.
Yeah, so to some of us, time management is everything, but there's so much that has to go into our time management to get the load delivered.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would be one of them, maybe. You know, some of us are very critical about time management, or we hold it very high.
And there's a lot of loopholes, right? There's a lot
man.
of broke down, scaled heavy, things that you can get out of it, right?
So
if you don't
many.
Get time management, you can always get out of it.
There's so many things.
But you don't have to take those. You could just do it right, you know?
Hey, let me interject here as a shipper. How often do you get to a shipper and they have no idea you're coming?
More so than not, man, believe it or not. And that is.
Do you have the ability to call ahead? I mean, we get people all the
things.
time. I have a ton of customer collect freight, which means they arrange the pickup. And we have people walking in looking for stuff that we had no idea they were coming to pick up. Sales never told us. They contacted the customer and told them it was done. The customer shows up, their truck driver's there. We're not ready. We look like a terrible shipper. And I mean, it's happened my whole life. I've been the driver, I've been the receiver, and I've been the shipper, and it sucks. Do you ever call ahead and say, hey, I'm coming here to pick this up tomorrow, I'll be there around noon, whatever? Do you ever do that? I mean,
it all depends on if it's a shipper that I've dealt with before, because you're not going to know the first time. You know what I mean? You'll know the second time because you communicate with them. You kind of have that relationship after that first delivery and you learn it. But if it's not a dedicated, lane or account you're on, if it's a new customer, you're just going to find out when you get there.
Well, so maybe that's a broker side thing. If you're getting a load through a broker, maybe that's something that they can do to help the driver out. Let them know, because I know that we hold drivers up, and I hate it. I'm as a shipping manager with a CDL and about 1.5 million miles. I hate holding up trucks. I hate it, but I also hate not knowing that they're showing up.
Well, I can't tell you how many mistakes, I've had to schmooze myself out of at the shippers.
Same.
And I'm not even kidding you. If it weren't for me schmoozing these people, I would never get my load off
right.
ever. Like they'd make me sit a day. So thankfully, I try to build a super fast relationship with whoever that shipper is. I'm talking in like minutes. Like, hey, Sue, who do I need to buy lunch to get this load off?
We had cash money.
Buy it.
We had company reimbursed cash money for pizzas and hats, and we had pizzas delivered to the night crew to get you unloaded, so you could go take your break somewhere off site, so you weren't sitting in their parking lot where there was facilities, just restrooms even. I mean, I know what you're saying. Maybe there's some front money that people can help drivers out with discretionary funds.
It's so key though. It's so key because that is so. I've always said this. The best drivers I know. Listen, all drivers are going to bitch a little bit, right? You would too. You're out. You're dealing with the stuff on the front lines, right? But the best drivers I know would call and complain or give you the story or whatever it was after it was handled. It was the drivers that hey, how'd it go over there, Lewis? I got there and they said this or this, but I talked to this guy. We got it done, but man, they did this or whatever. And it was already done. It's the drivers that call you ahead of time. Like, I'm parked here and I don't really, is there a guard shack? Yeah. Well, go to the guard shack, check in. You know what I mean? Like, hello, like sometimes it takes a little bit of getting out of the truck. And that's just the reality of it, because you just got to understand who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a broker you don't know very well or a younger rep or something, that's probably maybe something you're going to run into. And you want to build a good relationship, you call that broker and you tell them that, some young rep who doesn't know what they're doing and they're like, hey, I heard there were some issues at the shipper, and you tell them you got it handled. That's huge. That's huge, man. I mean, when it comes to, wanting to use you again and repeat business.
Hey, as a driver, man, just with my truck, we had Penske trucks and something happened. My truck's down. I call Penske. I get my truck in. We schedule it. It's not going to be done by morning because you know what? They're booked. The schedule's full already, but they don't have a loaner for me. So here I am. I need to work tomorrow. All right. Right. My water heater just broke. I don't have $600. I'm, spending money just for my water. Hey, Penske night shift. Here's a couple of pizzas. Can you work me in? Hell yeah, we can work you in.
Yep.
It works, man. It works at every place you go. You can.
Oh yeah.
A couple of pizzas, man, goes a long ways.
I had drivers do that. Bring them. Yeah, they're like, hey, I'm gonna stop and get Subway for these guys. Try to get unloaded. I'll let you know. Like we knew it was gonna be a work, and he's like, I'm trying to get unloaded. I'll let you know. Or they're gonna put a little effort in. I had a project come up, and we were literally shuttling from warehouse to warehouse for this company, and the driver was gonna make a ton of money, but there was a bunch of trucks doing it, and he was gonna do 3 or 4 a day, and he was the first one there every day with Burger King breakfast, and they knew he was bringing Burger King breakfast every single day, and so they would wave him up front. He would be the first one loaded every single day. He made sure of it so that he'd get his 3. Because if he didn't get his 3 loads in, he didn't hit his mark. And so he did that. That however much that cost him. Probably $20 worth of breakfast, and they knew who he was, and he got up there, and that's just how it went.
You don't want to create a black market for that stuff, because I've had some places that became the expectation, but it can definitely be an aid that you can use on your side, whether it's getting service at Penske or getting offloaded right at the quitting time or something like that.
But you want to be efficient as a broker. Know your shippers, know your receivers, right? Get those drivers the information ahead of time. Even give them the number of the shipper or receiver. Call ahead to them, make sure they know, because I hear brokers complain all the time. I go home, I get calls from a driver. A lot of drivers are just going to call you and be like, hey, the shipper doesn't even know I'm now you're dealing with something at night. Why deal with it at night when you can just have it, be proactive and be ahead of it? I think that's another key thing.
What can we do realistically for drivers? I'm a shipper. We have a big, huge facility, 2 plants. I don't have any way to create a better bathroom environment for you. I got to walk you through the plant over to a restroom that's somewhere on the campus with your truck gone out in the middle of a lot somewhere. Like, I know I've heard that, some of these shows and stuff are saying, well, get us better facilities. Man, I don't have capital expenditure budget money or influence. I can't create a driver lounge. I'm sorry.
A couple porta johns should be fine.
Yes.
Ingrid, 42 years in the industry. What's your take on that? What have you seen that works, or what do you suggest that people could use if they're in like Tony's situation?
Communication's the biggest deal, and it doesn't matter from both sides. Drivers just get burnt out on trying to communicate. Shippers get burnt out because drivers are basically, it's almost gets to the point, and I was just saying that communication, sometimes it feels like for us as drivers that shippers and receivers have taken possession of communication. What I mean by that is it's like it's their way or no way. There's no compromise. There's no, sorry guys, there's no compromise. There's no, okay, I'm one, and it's been for my whole life, stop at a payphone or whatever else. I'm calling every shipper before I go in the first time and every time afterwards. And I'm calling my receiver every single time. I'm not letting a broker do it for me. I'm not going through that broker because sorry guys, but you know me, you got me here. Here you go. I get sick and tired of people going, oh yeah. You can check in, go on, you're fine. And come to find out it's an hour window. It's a 2-hour window, or they didn't know I was coming window. And, the thing is I can take care of stuff easier myself than trying to play phone tag and 2 and 3 people. So communication is a really, really big thing, whether it be from the broker or shipper receiver. I think that what you said was spot on about how when you get into places and they don't understand what we have to do on our side, what the day's been like or anything like that, but it's almost like nobody listens. If I called a broker, TJ, and said, oh crap, that went off just smooth as silk, and I worried myself and didn't even sleep last night because I thought, God, this is going to be a shit show. If I called the broker or the shipper and said, hey, this went great, thank you very much, I appreciate it, and I have, 9 out of 10 times it's like, okay, all right, yeah, okay, I gotta go. Yeah, all right, good. Yeah, fine. And I want to go, really? Why did I bother? But I still continue to do it because that 1 out of 10 actually appreciates the fact that you're not bragging to them that you got the job done. You're telling them they did a good job by providing me with that load. It's the mindset that needs some changing on both sides. In other words, you guys aren't out to get me. You're out to help me. Because if you don't help me, you're not going to make any money. If I don't do what I'm supposed to do and have my mindset, not that you're not listening or paying attention or whatever, then, I'm not going to do what I need to do. Communication is just the root of everything. And if you don't have it, or you've got a break in it, it's something is going to just get all sag goggly woggly messed up. So again, it's taking the time to stop and get out of the me, and what I got to do and everything I'm into, and hold up, I'm busy, no, I need to stop and listen. Because if you got something to say to me and you called me, or if I've got something to say to you, it's not just to just say, nice shirt there, Will, you match Ray. I ain't got time for that. I got to go.
I mean, we do.
My clock's going. I know.
You had a beard, it'd be awesome.
But you see what I'm saying is we're not slowing down for each other, and it doesn't matter who you are. So We need to fix our side of the communication. Brokers, shippers, receivers need to fix that. But the only way to fix it is just slow down and stop and listen. Pay attention.
And it
If
comes out
we
of leadership.
listen, we'll learn. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you can attest to this. Well, it comes down to leadership and what you're preaching to your people and making them aware of how it actually works. Because everybody wants to preach, oh, carrier sourcing, source carriers. If you got dedicated lanes, you got this and that. And I hear brokers all the time that are covering a ton of loads a day, and they're still like, I haven't sourced any carriers yet for this. I'm like, you're talking to carriers every single day. You're talking to drivers you could be talking to drivers. You may not be even talking to them. You know what I mean? And you may have that relationship with the dispatcher, but that dispatcher's, I'll tell you this right now, running a fleet and having a dispatch operation, those dispatchers, they sometimes aren't all in on continued business, or they may not have the mindset of, they may just be coming in, covering their drivers and going home, right? Get on the phone with the driver. The driver may love that lane, right? You don't even, as a broker, he may tell his dispatcher, I love this lane, see if you can get it again. The dispatcher's like, okay, and he never does, right? Get on the phone with the driver. And I say the biggest thing that I always told him you could do is this. When a driver does a good job on a load, they never get this. You're always calling a driver at night to see where they're at. Where are you at? What are you doing? What's going on? Something's wrong, right? Something went wrong. Have you ever called a driver afterwards? Have you ever called a driver after a load and just said, hey, I just wanted to say great job. Like that was awesome. It's a newer customer for me. Like I needed somebody to come through in the clutch and do this, and you killed it. That's all I wanted to say. I just want to let you know you did a great job. Like, that's huge for a driver. I mean, how many times have you had that happen, Ingrid?
Very few, but I'll say I have had a lot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I have, and I appreciate those. It's very few anymore. It seems like that's being lost in that.
Right. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I probably would agree with that. In the short time as I've experienced it was quarter here, because it was out of the blue, and you're like, what the? Like, seriously?
Man,
this is the thing.
I used to, I think it's important, if you want to differentiate yourself, you have to find ways to do what everyone else isn't doing. And a short gesture like that goes so far. I mean, I have a handful of very strong relationships, Ray being one of them, where it's just a mutual respect kind of thing. Like, I'm going to tell you what's up. We're going to be transparent with each other. And it's the best way to be able to foster consistent business. It took a while. I still remember when I was first trying to get rolling with Ray and Purdy a long time ago. And it probably took me 3-4 months before they were listening enough for me to be able to be relevant to be able to load their trucks. But you got to build that relationship. But back to like the appreciation piece, are you cordial, right? Are you like listening to what they're saying? Do you cater to their needs and whatnot? I think that it's probably a big piece of what all of us deal with, which Ingrid was talking about earlier, which is the communication piece. But Ray, I don't know what you think about that, because you probably have a million different brokers calling you trying to use your trucks every day.
It's always, and you get the people that are just rude as hell, and then you get the other people that are, sweet as pie. But like Ingrid and Lewis said, I think that the communication, instead of candy coating something just to get someone to do it, and then when they show up, it is a shit show and it's not anything like you told them to do, or just letting people set themselves up for failure, and like you commented before, know if you can park there, know if there's facilities, tell your guy, hey, there's not going to be anywhere to park. There's not going to be bathrooms. I tell my guys all the time, looks, man, if you guys need a sandwich, you need to stop and get your shower. You may sit here a few hours. You're not allowed to park there. Just prepare and let everyone be on the same page. Because I think we just take for granted that you just get complacent and you don't dot your I's and cross your T's, and people get there and they're like, had you told me this, I could have prepared another way. And then you just kind of start to dance off on the wrong foot. Yeah. Because then, then the driver's pissed. And
as a broker, even like, you don't want to deal with issues like, and you want drivers to want to run your loads again. I mean, like, if like I've had brokers where I had a driver got pissed and left, or okay, that's happened 3 times now. What's going on? Well, you dig in, you find out that, be ahead of it, right? Be ahead of it. Let them know, like, show a little vulnerability. Don't sugarcoat it. Just say, hey, listen, man, when you get there, they're going to tell you to drop your trailer. Now, you're not actually dropping, like, this isn't a drop trailer load. Okay. Cause that's going to scare some guys off there. I ain't dropped my trailer. I'm not dropping my trailer. I didn't agree to that. Right. But all they're going to do is just disconnect from you. You go over and park in the rock lot. They want to be able to take the trailer back themselves and load it and bring it back out to you. That's all it is. So they're going to say drop your trailer, but at the end of the day, it's still you know, a 2-3 hour load. Okay, but you're actually just disconnecting from it. Right there, boom. Now you got it. You know, some drivers won't even, they'll get pissed and take off, and they're already gone by the time you find out it's broke, because you didn't communicate that ahead of time.
And I'm going to throw this in here.
Cheesy. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to throw this in here before I forget. Old age. Is that once you start getting into this stuff, guys, the greatest thing you can do for us is have a plan, or ask drivers, ask us, okay, you delivered this load, and if you weren't able to park in there, where did you find parking?
Mm-hmm.
Write it down, keep it in your head, and the next driver, use it. Hey, I know you're not going to be able to get in there once you drop that trailer, whatever, like you just said, TJ. Hey, you can run down the street. There's a truck stop or a Circle K or something there. You can park, you can grab a sandwich, but don't park on the right side of the. Get information from us, because we are the greatest informational tools at a shipper and receiver that you'll ever find. Utilize us. It's free. All you got to do is ask. And I can tell you how to make a driver's day. All you got to do is, hey, TJ, how's your day going?
Yep.
Bottom line.
Yep. And you learn more. You talk to drivers, but it makes you a better broker. It makes you can strategize. I always say, you know, bro, you're going to make the most money doing the hardest stuff. You know, I always thought, remember Brandon Bay always, you know, would say that I made all my money doing the loads nobody else wanted to do. You know, and if he had strategized, I had a customer that was a drop trailer shipper, and you know, they were, you know, I would spot bid these loads, and you know, you spot bid them a lot higher because you're dropping a trailer. Well, I told, you know, I kind of got in and worked with them on dropping their trailer for just, you know, 3 to 4 hours, but having a start load time, end load time, the whole thing, right? Got it so I could stop them at a better price because the carrier would charge less, but they had to have somewhere to park. And it's funny you said that, Ingrid, but I remember there was an Arby's down the road, and I actually called the Arby's, talked to the manager, and set up an account with Circle Logistics, in which if and they could go down there and park. So he agreed to that because there was parking back behind there. And if they went in there and said they were Circle, they got a free sandwich, a fry, and a drink, and they just charged us. And so when I would tell them that, you know, because they'd be like, drop trailer for 4 hours, you know, they're kind of, you know, but I'd be like, hey, listen, there's an Arby's right down the road. You go down there, you can park, manager knows, you can go in there, say you're Circle, you get a sandwich, drink, and a fry.
You couldn't
know,
swing to McDonald's. You had to get them Arby's.
But that's all that was there.
What Arby's is this?
That was
I was going to
parking,
say,
man.
Which Arby's?
where is this? Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Guess what it took, and guess why I called Arby's? Because I got on Google Maps and I went to satellite and I actually looked at the area. I looked what was around. I looked who had parking, and I saw there was a rock lot behind the Arby's. You see what I'm saying? It takes a little bit of extra effort, and you can have your loads go so much smoother. You get way more carriers wanting to run them, and you end up being a better broker because of it.
That satellite image is from 2006. But Lewis, when you get to 465, go north and then get on 69 north. I'll give you directions right to it.
You know what? Now that you said that, I think I know what Arby's you're talking about. I'll
You
go
know what
up
I'm
there
talking.
and park just for a free sandwich.
So
You did, didn't you?
That's good info.
You know, Lewis, that next time you go in there, just say you're with Circle. I don't know if we saw the account or not, but
10-4, which we'll find out real quick.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway,
Sign
so
the
those are little
Lewis.
things you can do, and that takes understanding a driver's perspective. And it's hard for me to. I was blessed that I came in on the dispatch side and dispatched drivers before I started brokerage, and then I was brokering, and then I went back to the asset side again. So I don't know. It's not always accessible for people to have that experience and understand the ins and outs of them, and what goes into what a driver needs to do and this and that. I try to preach it, but you could just talk to a driver about it. You can like what Ingrid said, just say, how's your day going? Some drivers, I'm telling you right now, and you know who they are, everybody's got them, that they will not shut up. They will just keep talking. And hey, listen, you know, every once in a while I always had some techniques like, hey, I got a call coming in or something. You know, you had to do those, right? But still, you know, well, you know what I mean? Like some guy, but listen, it's because they want to talk, right? They want to teach you things. They want to tell you stuff, you know, because they know that if they tell you, if you show a little vulnerability, they can make their job easier too. And that's how you learn. And I think that's key.
And you might be the only person they talk to all day long, besides somebody when they check into the shipper receiver.
I think
Very,
things
very true.
sometimes feel like a competition, like it's truckers against brokers, or you know what I mean? Like there's some kind of battle, or there's some type of ill will there, even, you know, right out the gate. And it's just, we're both going to take different paths. But if we end up at the same place, I don't care which damn way you went there, just wind up at the same place with me, meet the same goal. People just, you know, like sometimes my guys will, you know, they'll automatically, oh, they're set themselves up for failure. I can't make that. There's no way. And what if traffic this? And what if traffic that? And you just gotta say, hey man, listen, we're in this together. Because it's going to create just as much craziness for me as it is you. You know what I mean? It's not like if you just let people know that you're ultimately in this together, then I feel like that works with my guys. And I also feel like I could sell ketchup popsicles to women in white gloves.
But you also just knowing that though too, Ray, right? It's like maybe even tell the person taking the load from you, like, hey, listen, I'm gonna take this load from you, but let me tell you, there could be some traffic here. I've ran this before, it hasn't worked. You know, just let them know your concerns ahead of time. If they're that concerned about it, they may remove you from it and just say, hey, if you need to remove, you know, but if not, they're already ahead. So if something goes wrong, they get it. They already know.
Yep.
I think it's important to, I mean, not everybody's going to have the right intentions, you know, and the people that you work with won't always care about you or, you know, the goals that you have the way that you do. But when you get an opportunity to connect with someone that does, you want to do as much business with them as possible. Yep. And like Ray is saying here, you know, it's okay to be upfront and honest about how things are working or the challenges that there might be. I mean, I can name, I've booked thousands of loads with Ray. I can't even count how many it's been. And
we did kill it. We did kill it.
Like scenarios of just ridiculous stuff that you got to work through, but like, it's a part of the game, right? It was, you know, maybe a little challenging in the moment, but I'm on my end trying to figure stuff out. He's on his end trying to figure stuff out. Maybe we're talking to the driver doing this and doing that, but we're a team. And I might not, you know, I don't work directly for Purdy Brothers. He doesn't work for, you know, Molo or, you know, whatever brokerage I'm at the time, but we're a squad. I'm gonna figure out a way to make this work for him and his drivers. And over the course of time, both of us are going to do so much better because of that.
Amen. Yep.
And then we show up to
mutual respect.
We show up to a podcast wearing the same shirt on accident. You know, it's like,
like ebony and ivory.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys are so in tune.
I'm gonna be his tour manager when he takes this hula hoop thing international.
100%, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I don't have the hits for it.
That's okay, TJ.
I told that at a young age, but I tried
do it around your arm.
I tried to get in a hula hoop contest. It didn't work out for me. I went to a personal trainer, worked for 4 years on it. Just didn't have the hips for it.
I really thought you were about to follow it up with a dad joke, and I was just ready for I'm like, here it comes. Here it is. I know it's coming.
No.
I know it's coming. So
no.
I have a question. Oh, you're good. I have a question for the crew on the other side, you know, the side that me and TJ aren't on. What are some things that you think have been, you know, some of the best gestures of, I guess, appreciation you've gotten from either brokers or maybe, you know, your dispatchers or the company that you work with that made you feel good about the contributions that you made?
I don't know. I'll let you know when Molo sends me a package.
Oh man, that hurts.
Yeah, buddy.
Man.
Yes, sir.
I walked in.
Yeah,
sir.
You know, getting invited to a company party would be nice.
I've never been to Chicago.
Okay.
Well, you know, I come quite often to Chicago, so the three of us and all of us and you, Will.
I'm with that. That would be quite the dangerous afternoon. So sign me up. I'm ready.
Yeah, if I'm sent an invitation to any company party, I'm coming.
Me too.
Sounds like we gotta have a beer party.
I'm an East Coast boy. I've never had deep dish pizza.
That's unfortunate.
Hey,
that's what I hear.
That thin slice, you know, hey, one bite, everybody knows the rules.
No.
Fold that thing in half.
Exactly. That's how you do it. One thing I want to touch on right now, guys, is what are you seeing out there right now on the road? You know, we talk about ports being congested. We talk about obviously capacity being an issue, even some of the COVID regulations coming back in. What are you seeing right now in this market that you haven't seen up to this point, or that maybe is just a little more exasperated than compared to usual?
Well, I was going to say Swift drivers.
Lewis, Ingrid, Ray. What's that?
I was going to say Swift drivers, but everybody's seen them apparently.
Where?
Sure wish I finished training.
Where are you seeing Swift drivers? In the ditch or in the where are they?
One just cut me off. Imagine that.
What is that about? You guys, hey, tell me that. Yeah, what is that? I'm not picking on any companies, so I don't know, but like, what is that whole thing about? You see all the memes and everything. Are they just not great drivers, or just have so many of them?
Man. For whatever reason, between them and CRST or CRS England, I just stay away from them, man. I don't know. They have no etiquette. They don't have any common sense. I don't know. They're just everything I've had.
It's about quantity, not quality.
It's not. It's just bad.
It's a valid CDL and a heartbeat.
Yeah, my old safety director used to call them steering wheel holders.
I think it's so big that there's no personalization there. Like me, I have 40 drivers. I have 40 drivers that I work with 7 days a week, and all 40 of those guys, I mean, there's not a one of them that I haven't spoken to their wife. I know how many kids they have. I know, their dogs. Just you gotta be vulnerable, and you gotta open up to people, and you gotta have that relationship. You can't just treat it like I'm against you and I'm above you or you're below me.
Yeah, and we're all products of our teachings. We just are. Whether you have no teaching, you're a product of what you are. And both those companies are, from what I've experienced, it's either no teaching or little teaching, and then we're out here wearing flip flops and wife beaters,
pajama pants.
It's like
it's funny, and I think Willie probably attests to this too. Like, it's the same thing on the brokerage side. So I always said, it's not necessarily the company's name. It is the volume. It is the size and how many they have. So I'm sure there's some great Swift drivers out there, some great ones. You just got to find them. And the thing is a lot of those contracts they've got are more just with the company than they are with a source and a driver. But same thing with literally at Landstar, TQL gets bad rep on the broker sides because they've scaled to a point where they're so large that again, you're going to get a bigger sample size, and you're going to have those bad ones you deal with. But there are some damn good Landstar reps and some damn good TQL reps out there. You just got to find them. And I think that's where I've always talked, whether you're on a load board, whether you're dealing with brokers, if you have to get a backhaul or shippers, you dictate your experience. If you put a little effort in and understand that you can dictate your experiences by saying, hey, if I have a bad experience, I'm not working with this person. I'm going to find somebody, like Will said earlier, that gives me a good experience, that helps my business model and what I want to get to, and we're on the same page, and I'm going to work with them. That's up to you. Sometimes you can make that happen. And with those companies, it's not necessarily the company. Sometimes it's just the reps that you deal with, and you may say, hey, I had a bad dealing with this rep. I'm not dealing with Landstar again, or I'm not dealing with Swift again. But at the end of the day, if you build some relationships and understand, you might find somebody that you can cling to.
I'm going to jump in here real quick because I'm going to throw kind of a monkey wrench into this conversation. And that is, the generations that's coming into trucking now for the last 15 years, pretty well over 50%, I think it's like 62-ish, never were around trucks. They didn't come from trucking families. They didn't have the ability to get in a truck and for a relative or a friend or somebody put them in the truck and let's go on a trip, or them train them. They have to go to school now. They have to get a certificate. They have to do all these things in a short amount of time because there's not any schools that are really long enough to teach them what they want to know or need to know.
Amen.
So what we're looking at here is, sorry to say this, Lewis, or anybody that I don't mean to like step on toes, but here it is. We're their worst enemies. We senior drivers are the new drivers' worst. We're the worst ones out here because we don't do what was done for us. I'm still in training after 42 years every day. I have people that still work with me and still help me and remind me, to where these people came in and they got thrown into this and they have 16 days to learn how to drive a truck and a week or two with a trainer and they're thrown out. Can you imagine being in their shoes? I wouldn't have wanted to come in this industry like that, because they literally leave with so little education. They don't really even know how to get a shower at the truck stop when they get out of school and get the driver's license. They have no clue they have no clue which way do I go in the fuel aisle without.
Without being argumentative, it's like there's no work ethic though with the people either. Like no one wants to care, no one wants to ask those questions either.
Right.
I find more people do ask. The thing is, there's. Go ahead, Lewis.
I came in, not to cut you off, but I didn't go to school per se. I kind of was self-taught, but my background isn't trucking at all. Like I didn't grow up with trucking in my family. I didn't. I actually, my background has nothing to do with trucking, what I did for 10 years. But that didn't, I was taught to question everything, and I wonder if we're just not teaching our people that, like, you have to ask as many questions in this industry to learn anything. So if we're not teaching them properly at origin, then we're just teaching them to fail miserably.
Well, and you find that
I partially, I do agree with, I hear what you're saying. It's just kids are going to school and then bam, go get in the truck. But a lot of that is, they're not being taught enough.
A lot of their intentions aren't, there's two reasons people get into business. And that's either to make money instantly or to grow a career. And so, a lot of right now what you're seeing and why there's a truck shortage, everything is, oh shit, look at the rates. Look, you make this much money. I'm going to go buy a truck. And I'm going to get in it. And so the only thing on their mind is that, hey, I'm doing this because I know I can make a lot of money. Not like, I'm going to do this.
There's a grant for school.
I always said, there's owner operators and then there's operators. Are you an owner operator or just an operator? There's a business side to it, everything from relationships to, the paperwork stuff, like, Lewis was talking about the ins and outs, the details, the crossing the T's and I's. And, some people don't care about that. They'll get past that. They're making money,
And they don't have these big places like Swift. They don't have people like TJ and Tony and Will and you, Lewis, and you, Ray. They don't have these people. I mean, I know with me, with women in trucking, that's been the biggest thing about us, is being able to be there to answer questions. I mean, out of the blue, I got a messenger message night before last about a girl freaking out because she just came on her own truck a week ago and she's sitting with 38,000 on her trailer and 27,000 on her drives and 12,000 on her steer because she had picked up a trailer. And she's like, what do I do? I've got my tandem set all the way up. I said, it's not going to. You got to slide them out. It's not going to work. You got to go back and get reworked. And it was like, they're going to yell at me. And I'm like, it's not your fault. Well, they don't have a clue what to expect other than somebody's going to yell at them. Somebody's going to belittle them. Somebody's going to think that they're dumb or stupid because they have a question that might be, how do I get a shower? I mean, it honestly, until about 2 years ago, I would say the same thing and go, dear Jesus, what the heck are they teaching them? And where are they finding these people? But then I had to stop and think. There was a day that I didn't know how to get a shower. There was a day that I didn't know what to do with a load that was over on one end or the other and couldn't be scaled and had to be reworked. There was a day that I was scared to death to ask the guys, I can't get this binder unhooked and I've got a cheater bar and I hate to ask you, will you come help me? Because I just knew they were going to go, oh God, it's a woman in the industry. Here we go. Go home, whatever. And I mean, seriously, but the fear's there. The unsurety's there. The insecurities are there. Then the attitudes top it all. And that's the general that, hey, I have 33 and 35-year-old daughters. Attitudes, good God, they don't go away. They don't grow up yet. I don't know. But what I'm saying is it's difference in generations. I struggle with it too. But at the same time, I realized 2 years ago, it's so much easier for me to step up and offer that help because I've had more people take it now because I changed my mindset and my approach to it and the way I look at them than the way I did before. And
Instead of being a part of the problem, you're being a part of the solution. And that's
exactly.
awesome.
And
hey,
if
Lewis,
I don't
you got to
lead
be
by
around
example,
the 90. You got to be around the 90-mile marker, sun in your face. I got to jump, guys. I'm at football practice here with my little dude. I got to run. It has been awesome seeing all you guys. I'm sorry I got to cut out early, but find each other on LinkedIn and follow.
thanks,
All right,
Tony.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tony.
I've kind of noticed, like with also being with an asset-based carrier, you know, and listen, and trucking's been part of my life forever. You know, I'm 42 years old and it's been forever. But I think the guys that I cut my teeth on, you know, in trucking, it used to be a prideful job. And people, it wasn't, I think now people just kind of assume trucking is something that just anybody and everybody can do. You know what I mean? And it's you get a lot of these guys that, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I think, though, unless you're on the ownership side, that mentality's not there.
And I hate to beat that work ethic horse to death, but it's just, I see guys that come in, you know, and I don't drive at night. I don't go past Pennsylvania. I don't do this and I don't do that. And it just blows my mind. But on the same token, every trucking company is pulling from the same pool of drivers. So you can't push that hard because they're going to leave my office and be in another truck tomorrow morning somewhere else. So it's you got to pick your battles, and it's a double-sided sword. Trust me, because there's some guys that sit in front of me, and I go, "What in the hell? What are you thinking?"
Yeah,
and
I can't think of a truck driver telling someone I don't drive at night. That to me is just.
The only time I've seen that is when I've got a couple, like, you know, when you get into owner operators, like I've got a couple drivers that great. I got the one guy, his name's Randy. He's awesome. I don't know, Lewis, you may know Randy, but you know, he's been doing it for so long and he doesn't necessarily do it for the money. He's not chasing the dollar. You know, he'll go home. He's like, hey, you don't got a load. That's fine. I'll go home. I'll cut wood this weekend. You know what I mean? Like you'll find drivers like that where he's like, I don't go to Chicago anymore. Hell, I did that for 15 years. I'm just over the Chicago thing. I'm just, you know, because he's not chasing dollars, but he's upfront about it. He's just upfront, like, this is why, you know, I mean, you know, I've already done it. I'm not chasing the dollar. I know those loads pay more, but you know what, just get me something easy up to Traverse City or get me something down to Indy and back and I'll be good to go. But he's also one that gets it. And if you call him on a Saturday night, say, hey, listen, you know, Ford just had this hat. Like, I need you. He'll go do it for you. Right. But he's just,
because he respects you.
Yeah, exactly. Because you respected him too. So I think there's drivers that do that. Don't go to PA, this, that. And like you said, and I'm like, come on, man, really? Like, and you know what I do? I just give him, I love giving them shit too. I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot I didn't call. Let me call one of my real drivers, see if they'll want to say, oh yeah, you son of a bitch. You know, you kind of mess with them a little bit, you know what I mean? But some of them have valid reasons, but there is sometimes when you're like, man, come on, you know, you don't complain to me about money then, that you're not making money because I'm offering you these loads. But I think if you also figured out for them a little more, especially on the dispatch side, figure out the routes, the parking. Yeah, you don't want to go to New Jersey. And there's a huge reason why. Well, I tell you what, you know, tolls are taken care of, and I know where you can park, like things like that. Like boom, instantly could change their mind. You know,
every trucker start.
Oh, did we lose him?
We lost you, Ray.
We did.
Yeah.
What's your take on that, Ingrid?
Well, I've got one that's what I've been doing. I've been dispatching the other reefers that are here with Jamie. And I've got one that he runs from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. in a reefer. And I've got him unloading tonight at 11 o'clock and he's having a fit. I mean, a fit. But here's the bad part. He video games from 7 o'clock at night to midnight. And it's like, I don't know what he's going to end up doing with it because it just isn't working. I mean,
I saw that the other day, and I was like, really? Is that what's going on?
yeah, it just blows my mind. But yeah, I agree with it. I don't even know what to say with that area because I'm still up here. I'm in the, I'll be 60 in December. And it's kind of blows my mind because it's just so hard to look down the years and wonder how I got here, but where am I going?
But
And that's why
I have to.
and that's why we had you on because you guys being able to tell your story, being able to talk a little bit about your perspectives. I think it's key for everybody from shippers, brokers, customers, receivers, sales guys, other drivers. I think it's key to have these types of things. And yes, it's Truck Driver Appreciation Week, but these are things we've been doing all year long, and we want to continue to do. And we wanted to spotlight some of you guys. We appreciate every one of you guys being on today. These are great perspectives. Do you have something to say there, Will?
Nope, I was just gonna say I have to hop, but you're wrapping it up, so we're all set. I appreciate you.
So yeah, hey guys, listen, thank you for all you do. Lewis, be careful, man, out there on the road. And Ingrid, thanks for being on. Like again, Ingrid, you've always been a good friend of the show, always a good friend of mine, and we love you and we appreciate you being on. Same, Lewis.
Thank you.
Ray was great to hear from too, on the dispatch side too. So you guys have be good out there, be careful, and do it the right way. Already are.
Thank you. We'll see you next at Will's house.
Oh, fun stuff.
Yeah. Will's having party. All right.
Be careful, Lewis.
See you guys.
Guys, I love and
All right,
appreciate
see you guys. Yep.
Be